Hi, everyone. So today I want to do a reading for our singles. And I really just want to see what comes out in the cards. I would like to see if we can kind of take a look at your previous relationships, or maybe if there's any healing that needs to be done, or perhaps we can take a little peek into the future of your relationships. But really, I just want to see what the cards have to tell us and what comes out having to deal with our singles. So I'm using the Light Seers Tarot. So we have the Page of Pentacles, the Three of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. So this energy is really telling me that you are in a position right now where you want to start something new, something from the ground up. This gives me the feeling that you're ready for something new, perhaps, and we'll see what else comes out in the cards. But with the Page of Pentacles, you're feeling like there's some potential there for something brand new. So there is a feeling so far that you're not attached to anything from the past, although we'll see as the cards continue to come out. It does feel like you have your eye to the future and you're really ready to build something from the ground up. With the Three of Cups and the Knight of Swords falling here, I think that from your previous relationships, you have learned to keep things light, to celebrate with partners, and to really focus on support systems when in need. So the Three of Cups can often mean our friends and our support systems. Sometimes it can even mean our spirit guides. So it does feel like there is even a spiritual aspect to this, that you have learned a lot from previous relationships. And I think it looks like it's in a positive way. But I think that the thing that holds you back is you might be really distracted by all different kinds of things. Like there might be a need for you to focus on one thing. The Knight of Swords tends to be very impulsive, and there is this energy coming off of this card that there may be some impulsivity when it comes to you in relationships, that you might dive into things too quickly, even though your desire is to take it slow. But you might just get excited about things, and then therefore you may distract yourself right out of it, because you might start something, but then something comes along that's shinier and you get distracted in that direction. So that's the energy that I'm feeling as of right this minute. But let's see what else we can find. So we have the Chariot, the High Priestess, and the King of Swords. And there were a couple of other cards that wanted to fall out here, so I will take all of these into consideration. It was the Empress, the Ace of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Nine of Swords. So I probably can piece together a story with those two. I'm just going to set those aside for now. So it looks as though, again, I'm getting the same energy off of this Chariot that I was from the Knight of Swords. The Chariot is telling me that your heart is kind of ready for action, but it's not super focused or quite at its destination yet. You just know you want to get somewhere, but you don't quite know where that is. And that's why it's really reassuring to see the High Priestess here in this position, because this is telling me that you're using your intuition over your thinking mind. So there is an urge for you that you already have. You already have the urge to go inward and to really use your intuition and not your thinking mind to try to calm down these energies of the Knight of Swords and the Chariot. So you might already be under the impression that you can be distracted by things and that you don't focus that well when it comes time to a relationship. But I do get the sense with this falling here, because these are both major arcana, that you really are learning things. You're learning these ideas that if you really want to have success in a relationship, that you have to slow down. The Knight of Swords and the Chariot are very fast moving energies, and it's really hard to be the Page of Pentacles and to really focus and learn and grow and build if you're too busy running. And then I think your spirit is telling you that is, with the King of Swords, the King of Swords is a leader of intellect and a truth teller and someone who holds space for everyone's truth. So I do kind of think that your spirit is echoing all of this in the sense that it's telling you to, it's great that you want to consider all of the people in your energy, but you really have to just pick one. The King of Swords has one sword and he knows exactly what to do with that sword. So it tells me that you just maybe need to be a little more disciplined when it comes to figuring out who you want. And in the art of manifestation, it's really important that you are very focused on what you want, because without that, the universe doesn't know what to bring you. So there is a real element of being really honed in on what you want. And I think that's what the King of Swords is here to tell you. So with all these other cards that just dropped out of the deck, which I tend to think is your higher self trying to tell you something, is that you are very expansive with this Empress and you really are headed towards something, and you are pregnant with something, but you may not know what that is. And you're looking maybe for a divine intervention with this Ace of Wands. But I think what the divine intervention is going to tell you is to sit and focus, like this person with the Eight of Pentacles. She's sitting there focused on one thing, and she knows what she wants, and she's manifesting it in, and she's mastering that thought. And I think that is when the wheel will start to turn. And then that is when you will see that you are getting in your own way. 9 swords is way too many swords. That's way overthinking. That's doing way too much when it comes to thinking about something. And that's why the King of Swords showed up in our spread to say, no, just pick one of those swords and focus on that. So I think that's why all of these cards wanted to drop out of the pile. And then underneath the deck, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So again, this is, when you start with the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, this person's entire goal is to build this, the 10 of Pentacles. That's her whole goal. But right now she's standing there with one and she's trying to figure out what to do with it. So I already know that your goal is to build the 10 of Pentacles, to build the family, build the legacy, build something long-lasting and a strong foundation, which is exactly what I can see that you want from this spread. But you have to slow down and you have to focus. So hopefully this is resonant. And if it is, then this is definitely your reading. And we can keep going. I would like to see if we can try with the Big Picture Oracle to take a little peek into maybe your future, or perhaps even just what could be on the horizon for you. Oh, wow. You guys have a lot of flying cards. And I don't usually take flying cards, but in this case, I'm making an exception. So let's see what those are first. So we have the Mountain and the Letter. So this is a very clear message of there is a blockage to communication. And I think we've already figured out what that blockage is. That you're not going to be able to communicate effectively to the universe what you want until you get over this mountain, which is you being so easily distracted. That you're too busy running and not enough sitting and concentrating and really just kind of daydreaming about what it is that you want. You really are, especially like I said, with this 9 of Swords, you need to be able to see that you are really getting in your own way when it comes to manifesting whatever this love is that you want. So we have the Sun, the Lily, and the Wine card. So the Sun is telling me that what you want is this very happy, enlightened, optimistic, successful relationship, which is really resonating with this 10 of Pentacles. These are giving the same energy that what you want is really beautiful and happy and full of success. And your Page of Pentacles is agreeing with that. This Page of Pentacles, this is exactly what this page is dreaming of. But you have to do more than dream. Dreaming is great, actually, I take that back, but you have to know what it is. You have to be really focused on what that looks like. So I do think that there will be a spiritual aspect to your relationship when you finally do focus, because the lily is showing up. And I feel like the person that you are manifesting in, or the person that you will ultimately be with, because we see major arcana in here in these really important spots, and we had so many cards drop out, that this tells me that your higher self is involved. Perhaps your spirit guides are involved, because we saw that with the Three of Cups. And now the lily, which is your spiritual wisdom, is showing up. So knowing that you are such a spiritual person, I think that you're probably not going to settle for too much less than another spiritual companion. And I do think that your person is going to be a lot like you. So when this Three of Cups first came out, I said that you have learned to take things kind of casually, make sure you're celebrating, making sure you're still having fun, and that there's an element of fun in your life anyway. You're a naturally fun person. But I think with this Three of Hearts, which is very closely mimicking this Three of Cups, especially because there's a wine glass in it, I think that the person you're bringing in is going to be a lot like you, in the sense that they're going to be very spiritual, but also in the sense that they're going to also want the same things as you, in that they want things to be optimistic and playful and happy and celebratory and not a lot of drama. And so I think that that is, and that makes perfect sense, because you want to bring in someone who has that same vibrational energy and emotion that you do. So maybe this is going to help you as far as focusing on what you want to bring in. So, but we'll keep going. So I think that some of the challenges that you could potentially have in your future relationships, or even with this person here, is that you're probably always going to want to revert back to your natural tendency to want to go past things really quickly. So if you encounter problems in the relationship, you want to break this energy of just saying, well, let's just keep going anyway and just sweep this under the rug, or however you've handled problems in the past, where maybe there's a time to be celebratory and there's a time to really just have fun and be in that high vibrational energy. But there may also be times when you have to get serious and you have to really consider the breakdown or the challenges that come in the relationship. And I think that you may both have a tendency to do that. The problem with that is when you both do that, then you tend to not solve problems in any relationship. If people just skim over the issues and just tend to laugh it off, or just sweep it under the rug, or however you do things, I feel like that's when relationships start to have trouble. And I'm wondering if that's sometimes the trouble that you may have had in past relationships. So, but I think that something that you can learn is with the Ship card, because your person also has that same tendency to do that, because they're showing up as also another movement card. I think that you can learn together, that you can learn to work through these problems together, but in a different way. Instead of skimming over them, slow down. Become the Page of Pentacles, because you cannot build the 10 of Pentacles with anyone unless you're really laying a very solid foundation, one that's not going to get rocked, one that's not going to experience a tower moment, by making sure that if it feels like some foundational cracks are there, that you don't just say, oh, well, we don't worry about those foundational cracks. you go back and you fix those foundational cracks, and then you continue to build from there. So I'm getting a sense that there's not a whole lot of healing that you need to do as far as past relationships. I think I said early in this reading that it doesn't feel as though you have a lot of attachments to anything from your past. So because of that, I get the sense that you're probably going to meet your person in a relatively short time frame. So with the 10 of clubs, which is my bear card here, with the 10 of clubs, I tend to use this position as my timing. And in this case, that would tell me that it's about 10 weeks from now. But again, this is a general reading, so it's not going to be for everyone, but I do think it's going to be generally in that time frame because there's not a lot of healing that needs to happen in this relationship. So I think that really the thing that you really have to concentrate on is just what it is that you want and who it is that you want, and not be distracted and just chase after every shiny thing. So let's get a couple of oracle messages and see if we can add a little bit more clarity to this, because you really do look to be in good shape. And the fact that you have a lot of things that you can be distracted by and a lot of things that you can chase after is really reassuring, in the sense that you can really decide who it is that you want and really carefully select your partner, someone who is spiritual like you or someone who has a high vibration like you. So we have addiction, which says codependent, obsession and restraint, possession and control, and emotional block. So this, I'm taking from this card the energy of the mountain, that there is a block here for you. And it may be that you are, addiction is a really strong word, but it did show up, that the addiction could be to you chasing what's fun instead of focusing on what's real. So I think that that's the reason that this addiction card popped up, because again, I don't get the sense that there's any codependency or obsession or possession, because you don't feel, this energy doesn't feel like it's attached to anything. So if I had to surmise what it is that you are attached to, it's this, I really want this, I really want the 10 of Pentacles, I really want to build a family and a legacy and a foundation, but wow, that person looks really good, and that person looks really good, and that person looks really good. And that may be the addiction, and that may be what you really have to push through, the energy to push through, if you really want to end up with the 10 of Pentacles. Because you just have to pick one person and stick with that, if they're the right person for you. You understand. And then we pulled the butterfly, which says evolving and growth, next phase, healing inner child, and releasing the past. So this to me is you evolving from this energy of chase, 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 go, 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 run, 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 whatever it is that you're doing, your playboy, playgirl energy, and really trying to settle down. I think I'm talking to that person who just needs to, wants to. No one needs to do anything. You do you. But it feels to me like you're the person who wants to build a legacy and settle down, but perhaps you don't know how to let this go yet. How to release your playboy, playgirl past. That's what that looks like to me. And that you're evolving from it. And that's what these cards are telling you, that you really are evolving past that. So let's find some healing heart messages to see if we can get a couple of last pieces of advice or information about what it is that you are going through and what you want. But I do think that you are going to have some revelations here pretty soon. And that's because the High Priestess did show up. And so I think that you have overcome your thinking mind and you're letting your intuition take over. So I do think that there is going to be some epiphany that's going to come to you about this situation. And I do think that you are going to rein this in, and you're going to stop these horses And you're going to say, okay, what is it that I really want? And let me put some roots down instead of running. I do think so. So we have the remorseful heart, which is forgive and move ahead. So there may be a need for you to forgive someone from your past. A lot of times people who end up in that really kind of player energy, it's because you've been hurt by something or someone. And so there is this possibility that there is something that you need to move ahead from instead of just chasing the shiny thing, because that's the easy thing to do. The easy thing is chasing the shiny thing. And it's fun and you do it for a while, but then you end up that it's causing you a lot of emotional blocks. So that may be why that's falling together. And then we have the fearful heart, but it's time to shine. So if you're here listening to this reading, that's the energy also of the player. Players are generally players because they're scared to commit. And if that's who I'm talking to, then this is your time to really prove to yourself that you can do this, that you can do hard things. And hard things involve really doing the healing and let your inner light shine. This Page of Pentacles that you truly are at the heart of the matter, this is you. You're holding this Page of Pentacles and you want to build and you want to shine. And shining is really doing the hard work and making the commitment and being committed. And don't give up on love. Because that may be who I'm talking to, is someone who gave up on love, and which is why you're in a player energy, which is generally why people get in that energy in the first place. So I ask you, what is it that you desire? And if it is the 10 of Pentacles, then what you desire is a commitment. And if it's because you're scared of a commitment, that's all the more reason to do it. So that is my 2 cents for you. And I hope that that was helpful. And I hope that that was resonant for you. And if it was, please let me know. And we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.